Hello guys, welcome back to my today's tutorial. Today we'll be looking at how to cut a net top. Okay, before we go ahead with the tutorial for today, if you are new to this channel, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell to be the first to get notified when I upload a new video. As you can see from the picture above, we'll be making this beautiful net top. So I'll be using this designer's net to illustrate on how to achieve the top. So firstly, we'll be folding our material into four using our bust measurement, which is the biggest part of the upper bodies. Okay, so I just folded my fabric. Since it's a free top, it won't be having any zip, but it will having an opening at the back for a button to sit. So after folding my net like this, I'll take my blouse length. The blouse length I'm working with is 24 inches. 24 inches. So add 2 inches extra for folding and joining of my shoulder. So you add 2 inches extra for seam allowance, making it 26 inches. So I'll just rule out the line. Okay, I'll insert my shoulder measurements, which is 16 inches. Divide by 2 will give me 8 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark 8 inches. Mark 8 inches here. Then for my armhole depth, which is 16, that's my round armhole. Divide by 2 give me 8 inches. I'll just draw the line downward like this. I'll just use my armhole cuff to cuff my armhole. Just connect your lines together. Okay, so my breast point, which is 10 point, I'll take my breast point line, my under bust 14 inches, and my waistline, which is 17 inches. So I'll just draw the line. This is a free top, it won't be having any darts. It's just a free basic body top. Just use your basic body measurement to draft this measurement. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and insert my measurement. So the bust I'm working with is 36 inches. Divide by 4 give me 9 inches. So I'll be adding 4 inches extra to it because it's not having any zipper and I want it free. I'll use 2 inches for seam allowance and 2 inches for ease. For my waistline, I'll take my waist measurement, which is 32 inches. 32 divided by 4 will give me 8 inches. I'll also add 4 inches extra to it. That's I'll be sewing with 2 inches and the rest of the 2 inches will be for ease. So right here I will take, also insert my waist measurement, 32. This is a straight top plus 4, and the length of my top I'll also attach that's a little bit below your waist measurement. Mine is 38 inches, which is 9.5 plus 4 inches seam allowance. So I'll just go ahead and connect the lines together. I'm using 4 inches because I want it very free. Then I'll connect to my bust line. Okay, for the neck area, for the back neck, for the neck width, we're marking 3.5. That's for the neck width, 3.5. While for the neck depth, for the back I'll mark 1.5, and for the front I'll mark 4.5. I don't want my neck to be too wide, so I'll just connect with my curve ruler. Okay, you can see how it is. This is my back neck and this is my front neck. So I'll just go ahead and cut the back neck before cutting the front neck. Then I'll cut out the top. So on my shoulder line, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Just come down by 1 inch, and I'll connect it to the neckline. Just give it a little slant. I'll just cut this out. And I'll also cut the front neck. Okay. For the front armhole, I'll come in by ½ inch. Just mark ½ inch or 0.75. I just mark ½ inch and connect like this. You derive the midpoint of your armhole. Then from that midpoint, you mark the ½ inch. You connect to that midpoint. Come in by ½ inches from the armhole area. So I'll also cut this out. Make sure you just do this only for the front armhole. You don't do this at the back. Okay. Then for my back neckline, remember I said it will be having the button. I'll just take off the front. Just take off the front. And I'll arrange the back top properly. Then I'll come down by 4 inches for my opening. The back will be having a button, so 4 inches is okay. You can come down by 4 inches or 5 inches or 4.5. But I feel 4 inches is okay for me, so I'll just slit it up like this. I'll just open it up to that 4 inches. So just open it up. Okay, you can see I just open it up by 4 inches, so I can use a bias strip to turn this area and the neckline for both the front and back. So that's all for the top. I'll just cut the sleeve now. The sleeve will be a long sleeve. You still be folding your fabric into 4 to cut your sleeve. Okay, for my sleeve, it will be having a puff at the cap area. That's your elbow joint like that. Your upper cap area, that's the by cap of your sleeve. So, and to be a long sleeve with a funnel hand. So for this neck, since to be having a puff sleeve, when you are taking your sleeve length, you add extra inches to it. If you don't, you'll notice that it will become jump by the time you finish sewing, especially this net material. So my sleeve length is 23 inches. So instead of 23 inches, I'll be using total of 26 inches to your sleeve measurement when you're working with this kind of net, because by the time you finish cutting your puff, you end up having a shorter sleeve. So you add extra inches to it. So I'll add 3 inches extra to it, and the sleeve length I'm working with is 23 inches plus 3 inches extra, making it 26 inches. So I just fold it out like this. Okay, so when you want to cut your puff sleeve, you can, depending on how big you want the puff to be. If you want it very big, you can multiply your sleeve measurement by 3 and you mark out, or you multiply by 2 if you don't want it that big. And if you just want a little gather at the just the center part of your sleeve, you can just go ahead and add some inches entrance to your sleeve measurement. So as you can see from the picture, our sleeve is not having much puff like that. It's almost like looking straight. So we'll be adding few inches to it. So my sleeve measurement, which is 16 inches, divided by 2 will give me 8 inches. 8 inches here. So I'll make it total of 12 inches since I don't want it to be too big. I'll be using total of 12 inches, which is 24 inches. If you want yours very big, you just multiply your sleeve by 2 and take your measurement depending on how big you want it to be. So from that point where I marked my 12 inches, I'll come down by 4 inches. I'll be dropping the link on the description box on how to draft or basic sleeve, because this is a basic sleeve. The difference is just the puff. So I'll derive the midpoint of my sleeve, which is 6 inches. Then where you mark, you come down by 4 inches. Then from this upper cap area, you just connect to the midpoint and to the 4 inches you marked earlier on. So we'll just give it a little curve. Then I won't be shaping this lower part because I'll be gathering like 8 inches away from my sleeve hand so that to make a funnel. So I'll just connect straight. I'll use my ruler to mark it straight down. From that 12 inches, you just mark 12 inches straight down. Mark 12 inches to the end. 12 inches. 12 inches to this point. So I'll just use my ruler to connect the lines together. Okay, so after you connect your line like this, I'll just trim this excess. After I trimmed it out, this is the upper cap area. So just want to arrange my net very well. Okay, so at the lower part, remember I said to be having a funnel at the lower part, and if you can see from the picture, it was not attached to it. So we'll be using an elastic thread to sew to create the funnel sleeve. So what I'll be doing is I'll come up by 10 inches. You can use 9 inches, is okay. So I'll just go ahead and use 9 inches. So I'll just draw my line out. Just mark your 9 inches. Make sure the line is straight. Mark your 9 inches and draw it out. Make sure the line is on both sleeves. So at the lower part, you just come up by 9 inches. This is where I'll be attaching. I'll use a smoky thread to sew on this line to make it a funnel shape. Just fix the smoky thread, then you sew on the line on both sleeves. You can see by then it will just gather up this part, giving it a funnel shape. So you just come up by 9 inches, 8 inches, depending on how big you want your peplum to be. That's how you come up with my smoky thread. Okay, for those of you that are not familiar with what a smoky thread is, this is a smoky thread. Is an elastic thread. You can see how it's looking. I'm just trying to pull out one point to show you. You can see it's stretchy. So this is the thread I'll be using to match on this line on both sleeve before shaping it. Okay. So we're moving ahead to the sewing part of our top. I'll also use a bias strip to turn both the front and the back, or cut 1 inch of your net material. Just cut 1 inch out and use the 1 inch to turn the neckline and also uh the back slit where you insert your button. So I'll just mark 1 inch and cut a straight piece. I'll use it to turn the neck area. I'll cut it in the form of a bias. Just mark 1 inch and cut it out. So I'll be using this piece to turn both the front and the back neck. This is 1 inch wide and the back slit before inserting my button. So we'll just I just joined the shoulder area with 1/2 inch, and I also shaping the dress using 2 inches like I said earlier on. So what I'll be doing now is to bias my neck area, including the slitted part. So I'll just go to my machine and do just that. Then I'll be folding the lower part of my dress using 1 inch. Okay, I just biased my neckline using the net. You can see how it's looking. So what I'll be doing now, I'll be attaching this 1 inch elastic. It's just 1 inch long. It's an 1/2 inch elastic. As you can see how it is, it's just 1 inch long. I'll just bend it into two like this. Then I'll fold the edge inward on one side of the top. You put it at the wrong side of the top. After, you must have fold the edges inward and use the machine to stitch it up. I'll attach my button at the other end of my back slit. Then I'll just button it up like this. You can see the opening. So right now I'll be going over to the sleeve. Okay, remember we marked 9 inches. You can see the chalk line. Okay, on this line where we came up by 9 inch, this is where I'll be matching my elastic thread just to gather up these parts together. Okay, before fixing your elastic, you have to use your screwdriver to open up your bobbin holder a little because if you don't open it, you won't be able to pass through. Then you just fix it to it. Okay, after fixing it, I'll just bring out my elastic thread. You put your machine on gather, then I'll just sew on this line I've created already. So this is how it's looking. You can see how stretchy it is, and it's already forming, giving us the funnel shape we need. So what I'll do now, I'll just right face facing each other and I'm shaping it up using 1/2 inch. You can see how the top is looking. I just use a bias to match the elastic, leaving at about 1 inch difference, so it's still kind of stretchy. So that's it. And I extended the bias up to like 7 inches so I can tie it up. I just felt like creating a design on it. Sorry I didn't show you the part while making it. It's just a simple thing. Just place your bias on the side where you place the elastic, then you sew on both sides. The elastic area will be in between the bias. So this is it. Please make sure you like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.